Zoe Johnson was only 9 years old when her world shifted forever. It happened on an ordinary afternoon in the park. She had been skipping along the path, clutching the peanut butter sandwich her mom had packed. Then she saw him, a man sitting alone on a weathered bench. His hair was wild, his shirt stained, and in his hand he held a cardboard sign asking for help. Most people walked past without even looking, but Zoe stopped. Without hesitation, she stepped forward, held out her sandwich and said, "Here, mister. My mom says we should help those in need." The man's piercing blue eyes softened, glistening with unexpected tears. "Thank you, little angel. What's your name?" "Zoe," she answered, smiling proudly. What Zoe didn't know was that someone else had been watching. From the window of a nearby apartment, Mrs. Henderson, the neighborhood gossip, snapped photos and sent them to the residents' WhatsApp group with a sneering caption. "Look at the kind of people this family lets their daughter associate with." Within minutes, the group exploded with judgment. Mrs. Williams, president of the Residents Association, hissed over the phone to Deputy Morrison, "That child needs to learn her place before it's too late." By the time Zoe returned home, still humming happily from her good deed, her mother Patricia had already received threatening notes and messages. "Control your daughter, or we will." Patricia's hands trembled as she read the note. She recognized the handwriting. It was Mrs. Williams, the same woman who had fought to keep them from moving into the neighborhood 2 years earlier. Patricia hugged Zoe tightly that night, whispering, "You did nothing wrong, my love. Some people just don't understand kindness." But what Patricia didn't realize was that the man on the park bench, dirty clothes, unkempt beard, cardboard sign, was not what he seemed. Behind those blue eyes lay a calculating mind and resources powerful enough to shatter the entire neighborhood's web of prejudice. And the storm was only beginning. The very next morning, Patricia was jolted awake by pounding on the door. Standing outside were 2 police officers, and behind them Mrs. Williams, smirking with satisfaction. "Mrs. Patricia Johnson?" asked the taller officer. "We've received reports that your daughter is being neglected and put in dangerous situations." "What?" Patricia's voice cracked. "I work 2 hospital jobs to support her. She is safe and loved." Mrs. Williams stepped forward, flashing printouts of Mrs. Henderson's photos. "Allowing a child to mingle with criminals and addicts is reckless. Social services have been contacted." From the kitchen doorway, Zoe appeared, toast in hand, wide-eyed. "Mommy, did I do something wrong?" Patricia knelt, holding her daughter tightly. "No, sweetheart. You did everything right. Some people just have trouble with kindness." For 40 minutes, officials grilled Patricia with invasive questions. About her work hours, about childcare, about her parenting. Each question dripped with bias. Finally they left, muttering about further review. That afternoon, Patricia received official notice. A child neglect investigation had been opened. The harassment escalated quickly. Her bank account was frozen for suspicious activity. Her car was towed. At the hospital, anonymous complaints forced her supervisor to put her on administrative leave. In the condo group chat, parents whispered that Zoe was a bad influence and forbade their children from playing with her. By Wednesday, Zoe came home in tears. "Mommy, why is everyone so mean? I just wanted to help." Patricia fought to keep her voice calm, because sometimes people who are afraid of kindness try to hurt it. But that doesn't mean we'll stop being who we are. What neither Patricia nor Zoe knew was that their every move, and every act of hatred against them, was being monitored. The man on the park bench had not disappeared. In reality, Daniel Morrison, billionaire hotel magnate, was quietly documenting the prejudice, gathering evidence with his team of private investigators. And he was preparing for war. By the following week, the campaign against Patricia and Zoe had reached a fever pitch. Mrs. Williams orchestrated a public protest outside the Johnsons' building, waving signs like "Protect our children" and "Neighborhood standards matter." Patricia confronted her in front of the crowd. "And where exactly do you think we belong, Mrs. Williams?" "The ghetto. A murmur rippled through the onlookers. For the first time, the ugly truth had been spoken aloud. Mrs. Williams' mask slipped. Her voice hardened. Let's be clear. People like you would be happier in communities more similar to your own kind. Patricia's fury burned, but she held herself steady. Beside her, Zoe's small voice pierced the silence. Mrs. Williams, why don't you like me? I haven't done anything wrong. The crowd shifted uncomfortably. Even some of Mrs. Williams' supporters looked away, unable to face a child's innocence. That night, Patricia received a mysterious call. Mrs. Johnson, Mr. Morrison would like to meet you. It's about the incident in the park. The next morning, Patricia arrived at a gleaming skyscraper. Inside, an elegant receptionist escorted her to the top floor. When the man behind the desk stood, Patricia froze. Clean hair, tailored suit, sharp eyes. Yet she recognized him instantly. You're the man from the park, she whispered. Daniel Morrison, he said smoothly. CEO of Morrison Holdings. And yes, the so-called beggar you helped. Patricia sat slowly, shock coursing through her. Daniel leaned forward. Your neighbors have waged war on you and your daughter. But I've documented every threat, every false report, every whisper of corruption. Mrs. Williams and her allies are part of something much larger, a gentrification scheme funded by developers. They targeted you because you wouldn't fit their picture-perfect fantasy. He slid a thick folder across the desk. Inside were transcripts, photos, bank records. Proof of a conspiracy. What do you want from me? Patricia asked. Daniel's smile was cold. Justice. Your daughter reminded me kindness still exists. Now I want to remind them that justice still does too. The question is, are you ready to fight with me? The courthouse was buzzing. Mrs. Williams strode in confidently, briefcase in hand. Certain victory awaited her. But her smirk faded when she found Patricia already inside, flanked by a team of lawyers, and Daniel Morrison himself. Daniel stepped forward. Mrs. Williams, I'm the beggar you despised. And I've recorded every word of your campaign against this family. One by one, his lawyers laid out the evidence. Audio of her meetings with the mayor, bank transfers from developers, contracts targeting minority families for eviction. Every poisonous word she had spoken now echoed through the courtroom. Mrs. Williams paled. You can't use this. You can't prove. That moment her phone rang. She answered shakily. Mrs. Williams, this is KCNR News. We're about to air the recordings of you orchestrating a racist conspiracy. Do you want to comment? The phone slipped from her hands. Patricia finally spoke, voice steady, fierce. For weeks, you tormented my daughter for showing kindness. Now it's our turn. And we're done being silent. Daniel delivered the final blow. I've already bought the building you live in. Consider this your eviction notice. Past tense, Mrs. Williams. Your influence is gone. Now, you only have consequences. 3 months later, Patricia and Zoe were living in a new home provided by the Zoe Morrison Foundation, created to fight housing discrimination. Zoe, still sweet and unbroken, played with Max the golden retriever in their yard. The foundation had already helped hundreds of families. One evening, as Patricia tucked Zoe into bed, her daughter whispered, Mommy, I'm glad I gave him that sandwich. Look at all the good that came from it. Patricia kissed her forehead, tears in her eyes. Yes, my love. Sometimes the smallest kindness is the spark that changes the world. And indeed it had.